Hello, I'm Mike, this is Will, we are the Tabletop Donkeys.
Hello.
We're bringing you issue 19 of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Mortal Realms magazine today, and in this issue we got 3 heroes for Nighthaunt. We got a Guardian of Souls with a Nightmare Lantern, a Spirit Torment, and a Knight of Shrouds on an ethereal steed. And if you want to see some of those models in action, you can skip straight to the battle with a time code in the description. Heading into the issue now, first up we have some backstory on the Knights of Shrouds. So these are the sort of leaders within the Nighthaunt who sold in their past lives, they sold their souls to Nagash in order to be made leaders of the Nighthaunt. Talks about their sword that transfers the life force of beings the wielder kills back to them, and their steeds they ride on. And we have the Guardians of Souls, who were once necromancers. In death, they are wizards in the Nighthaunt army, using their lanterns to guide other Nighthaunts to targets. It also mentions the Mortality Glass, which was a bit of equipment that an alternate version of the Guardian of Souls has, but this one doesn't. He has the Nightmare Lantern instead. And then Spirit Torment, who go out and imprison and torture the souls of people who have broken Nagash's laws, the jailers of Shyish. It also mentions Chain Guards, who will often work with the Spirit Torment. And then on to our build guide, and they're fairly easy push together models. These were this sprue of models, just one of the ones from the Soul Wars box set. Also mentions at the top, even though they are push fit, you can use glue to glue over the seam where they fit together, and you can scrape it with a file to get rid of the gap. So you've got the Guardian of Souls and then the Spirit Torment. And the Knight of Shrouds is a bit more complicated. It also recommends not gluing the man himself together until you paint him, make him easier to paint. And then on to our painting guide. It's fairly similar to other Nighthaunt stuff that we've painted before, but we're adding the new Jarred Bark and Leadbelcher paints. So it's the usual base coat white, then wash over with Nylon Oxide and dry brush, and then blue for the cloth, black for the sort of leather hilt, scabbard and reins for the steed, and then going over the lantern and sword and chains and keys with the Leadbelcher. And then going through the rest of the Nighthaunt collection, doing wood for weapon hearths and silver for all the weapons, and also the Briar Queen's Thorn Whip. And then we've got the completed models there. And now we'll get to see the Spirit Torment and the Guardian of Souls in our battle for this issue, which we'll get on to now.
So we're on to our playthrough for this issue, Toil and Torment. It shows our battle mat set up here. We've got the Spirit Torment and 15 Chain Rasps, so that's the 10 easy to build ones plus the 5 Thorns of the Briar Queen, not including the unit leader. And all the way on the other side of the battle mat, there's the Knight Questor and 5 Sequitors. And we have new War Scrolls for 2 of the new Nighthaunt heroes. We don't actually get the War Scroll for the Knight of Shrouds yet. It also mentions you need the Sequitor and Chain Rasp War Scrolls from the previous issue with their bravery values. So the Spirit Torment has 5 wounds, 6-inch move, 4+ save and bravery 10. It's ethereal and it can fly and it's a hero. I've seen all that before. It also has a special ability called Nagash's Bidding, which means you can reroll hit rolls of 1 for friendly Nighthaunt units that are wholly within 12 inches of any Spirit Torment. So wholly within obviously the entire unit, not just one model. It has to be within 12 inches. Its weapons, it can hit people with its big padlocks, which have a 2-inch range, 3 attacks, hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s, rend of -2 and D3 damage, so it's fairly good in melee. Just have the Knight Questor's War Scroll here. The only new thing here is he has a bravery of 8. So obviously, as we saw before, the first game uses the Spirit Torment, but it does say here you can go back and swap him out for the Guardian of Souls and repeat the battle. He has the same base profile, if you like, as the Spirit Torment, 5 wounds. He, however, is a wizard, so he can cast Arcane Bolt. He also has a thing called a Nightmare Lantern, which allows you to add +1 to wound rolls with melee weapons for friendly Nighthaunt units wholly within 12 inches. So he improves Nighthaunt in a slightly different way. And his Chill Blade has a 1-inch range, 3 attacks, they hit on 3s, wound on 3s, with a rend of -1 and 1 damage, so he's not quite as good in melee, but he is a wizard. Then our reference sheet, which goes over the rules we know so far, but it also mentions command abilities, which are a new thing we learn about. And essentially, these represent the influence of heroes on the ordinary troops that they command, and how they can use their influence to inspire or otherwise improve the troops they are leading. It gives an overview of them here, but we'll see them in a second. So the way those work is that in the hero phase, both sides receive a command point at the start of the turn, and it says note this down. A command point is basically just a thing you can spend to activate a command ability. And it mentions there's a command ability here you can use in the movement phase, called At the Double. A friendly unit that's within 6 inches. After you've rolled your run roll, you can spend your command point to decide that it's going to treat the run roll as being a 6, rather than whatever you rolled. So down here there's an example. The Chain Rasps only roll a 2, but they are within 6 inches of the Spirit Torment, so the Nighthaunt player decides to spend a command point and treat that roll as a 6 and move them up the field. In the Stormcast turn, we learn about another command ability. This one you can use in the charge phase, called Forward to Victory, and if your friendly unit is within 6 inches of a hero, you can spend a command point to re-roll their charge roll. And you do re-roll both dice, as it shows here. The Stormcast player rolls a 7, which isn't enough, decides to re-roll by spending a command point, and gets an 8. They can do that because they're within 6 inches of the Night Questor when they make their charge roll. And over the page back to the Nighthaunt turn, we learn about the third command ability that we get in this issue, which is Inspiring Presence. In the Battle Shock phase, you can spend a command point to pick a friendly unit within 6 inches of the hero, and that it does not have to take a Battle Shock test. So that's quite useful if you take a lot of casualties and you would stand to lose a lot more due to Battle Shock, which we learned about in the previous issue. And there's just an example of that down there. And as usual, the battle continues until one side has no models left. That's it for our new rules, so we'll get straight into our playthrough now. So here is our battlefield setup with all the scenery on it. On the tomb end, the Stormcast Eternals, we've got the Night Questor on the left and the 5 Sectors on the right. And the spooky graveyard end, we've got the Spirit Torment on the right and the 15 Chain Rasps arrayed in 2 rank there. Well, the Nighthaunt get the first turn, so we'll go on to Nighthaunt turn 1. So at the start of the turn in the Nighthaunt hero phase, they gain a command point. We're going to mark them using these dice like that, so that's 1.
Both of my units are going to run because we're miles away from the Stormcast. We're going to start with the Chain Rasp because if the Spirit Torment moves too far, then they might not be in range if I want to re-roll this. I'll take the 3. I'll roll the Spirit Torment as well. He's also going to run. He gets to go an extra 5. So finish all of our movement like that. So the Chain Rasps are all going to bunch up a bit, so we can easily get within 12 inches of the Spirit Torment, and it's just going to follow alongside them.
That's it for the Nighthaunt turn, so we're on to Stormcast turn 1. In my hero phase, I also gain a command point. We'll mark it with the yellow die. And then we're just going to move a little bit, just to get like that, put the Sectors in slightly better formation, and move the Night Questor a bit closer. Nighthaunt's still quite a long way away, so it'd be a long charge in their turn. I don't want to get too close, but that's it for my turn, so on to the Nighthaunt turn again. In the hero phase, the Nighthaunt gain a second command point. These do carry over to other turns, I didn't say that before, but...
So we're just going to move up normally, leaving a bit of a distance between us and the fence, so the Stormcast will have to charge over the fence if they want to get to us, and they can't fight us on the other side of the fence because they won't be in weapon range. And next turn we can just fly over and then charge.
So in that case, it's on to Stormcast turn. So in my hero phase, I gain a command point, going up to 2. We're going to move further away towards this board edge, basically because I don't want to fight the Nighthaunt on their own terms. If they're going to try and use the fence against me, I'm not going to go anywhere near it. But that's the end of my turn, on to the Nighthaunt turn. Hero phase again, Nighthaunt go up to 3 command points because nobody's used any yet.
So the Chain Rasps are going to move up normally. They're 6 inches, kind of at an angle, so they're all on the other side of the fence. And the Spirit Torment, I think, is going to run so that he can get to the other side of the Chain Rasps. So he gets a 6. Oh, don't even need to use a command point. So he'll end up over there. Basically, because if he moved normally, he'd be on this side, and then when they charged, he wouldn't be in range of them anymore.
Yeah, because they have to be wholly within 12 inches of him for his bonus to work, so...
Or within 6 for command abilities as well. But then the Chain Rasps are going to charge. So I'm going to need about a 5 or so. I'm getting a 9, that's easily going to be enough. Okay. So they're going to finish their charge like that, and they're just about staying more than 3 inches away from the Night Questor, so he can't get into the fight. Yeah. But only 13 of them are within an inch of anything, so these 2 at the back can't fight, but everyone else is just within an inch, because these Chain Rasps have 25mm bases, and an inch is 25.4mm, so if a Chain Rasp is in base contact with one in front that's in base contact with a Sector, they can fight because of their 1 inch range. So we'll have 27 attacks from all the Chain Rasps, hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1s because we're wholly within 12 inches of the Spirit Torment. So we got 11 hits, and there were 4 1s to re-roll, which turn into 2 more hits. 13 hits, wounding on 4s, re-rolling 1s because there's Eternal War of Chain Rasps. Re-roll all of them. Oh, it's 3 more wounds, so that's 8 wounds.
8 4+ saves, re-rolling 1s because of my soul shields. Made 5 and no 1s, so 3 wounds go through. Take away the one on the end and wound one next to him because that will make it harder for all the remaining Chain Rasps to pile in. And the Sector will get 2 pile in and fight. This one down here will pile in around the corner, and then we will get to attack. Start with the Stormspike Great Mace. It has 2 attacks hitting on 3s, 6s do D3 hits. Oh, that's a 6 and a 5. 1, so that's 1 plus D3, only 2 hits. Wounding on 3s, 1 wound straight in the box, 1 wound, which does 2 damage.
5+ save, made it.
Then 7 attacks from the normal Stormspike Walls hitting on 3s, 3 hits. Oof. Wounding on 3s, 2 wounds.
5+ saves. Fail both. So the 2 Chain Rasps that are engaged will die.
Well, that's it for the combat phase. Now we're on to the battle shock phase. The Stormcast Eternals only lost one model, so their bravery of 7 means that they can't possibly roll higher than it. 1 d6 plus 1. But the Chain Rasps did lose 2, and they still currently only have a bravery of 6, because we don't know about the Dread Warden's increase in bravery yet.
Yeah, I'm just going to spend a command point to not have to roll.
Going down to 2 command points left. Right, so that's using the Inspiring Presence command ability.
Yeah.
And they can do that because they are still within 6 inches of the Spirit Torment.
Yeah, we're already engaged, so probably not going to need to reroll any charges or runs anymore, so...
But that's it for the Nighthaunt turn. On to the Stormcast Eternals. In my hero phase, I gain a command point going up to 3. So I've moved the Night Questor slightly, but thanks to where the Chain Rasps are and this statue, that's actually about as close as he can get. I'm hoping to charge the Spirit Torment and hopefully take him out, but that's the best we can do at the moment. So straight on to charge phase. The Night Questor will charge. We'll see what I roll. 4, that's enough to get him into the Chain Rasps, so I'm going to do some measuring. So I could use my command ability to re-roll that, but I've decided not to. I'm just going to go in 4 inches and then go and attack the Chain Rasps with the Night Questor. I get to pick first. I think I'm going to attack with the Sequitors, because the Chain Rasps won't get many attacks on the Night Questor, and they're going to struggle to hurt him anyway, whereas the Sequitors need to attack before some more of them get killed. Start with the Great Mace again, 2 attacks on 3s, or the 6 again, so D3 plus 1. Ooh, 4 hits this time. Wounding on 3s, 3.
5 plus. Fail all of them, so that's 6 dead Chain Rasps.
And 7 attacks from the normal maces, hitting on 3s. 4, they're doing slightly better. Wounding on 3s for 3.
5 pluses. Oh, made all of them.
So all the Chain Rasps up the top there have died, but they get to attack back now.
Yeah, and they'll go for the Sequitors. So 7 remaining Chain Rasps, get 15 attacks, hitting on 4s, reroll on 1s. Reroll on the 3 1s. Into another hit, so we get 8 hits. Wounding on 4s rerolling, not rerolling.
No, because there aren't more than 10 of them anymore.
It's 4 wounds.
4 plus saves rerolling 1s. Made 2, failed 2. This Sequitor will die, and a wound will go on to the other regular Sequitor. And now the Night Questor gets to attack. He has 4 attacks that hit on 3s. 1 hit, that's wounds on a 3, 6 is 2 damage. Oh, I didn't wound. So that's the end of the combat phase. On to the battle shock phase. Again, the Sequitor's only lost 1, so they're okay.
Yeah, and I'm definitely going to spend a command point, because I took 6 losses, so I would just be rolling how many I'd lose.
Basically, yeah, you'd be losing d6 models. But with that, it's on to the Nighthaunt turn. Hero phase, Nighthaunt gain command point going up to 2.
So he's going to move up normally, staying 3 inches away from any of the Stormcast, and then he's going to charge. Getting an 8, that's definitely enough for what I want to do with him. And he's going to end up over there, importantly out of range of the Great Mace.
And you get to pick who fights first.
He'll go first. He can put all of his attacks on the Sequitors, because he's more likely to kill them. So he has 3 attacks, hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s because his aura applies to himself. Reroll that 1. 2 3s, so that's 1 hit. Wounds on a 3. It does.
It's rend minus 2, so this is a 6 to save, re-rolling 1s. That's 2. And it does D3 damage.
Damage. 1.
So that will kill off the wounded Sequitor. So now I get to pick. I'll pick the Sequitors, because otherwise they're going to get attacked by the Chain Rasps in a minute. Yeah, we'll put all our attacks on the Chain Rasps, because they haven't attacked yet. 2 from the Great Mace, hitting on 3s. 1 hit again. Wounds on a 3. Oh, it did.
5 plus. Nope. 2 dead.
And Prime has 3 attacks on 3s. 1 hit. Wounds on a 3. Oh, that's a wound.
5 plus. Nope.
So there are 4 Chain Rasps left.
Yeah, and they're going to attack the Sequitors. So we've got 9 attacks, hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s. 6 hits. Wounding on 4s. 3.
2, because I have a Soul Shield, so rerolling 1s. Oh, they both passed, and then the last one on 4. No, that's a wound on the Sequitor Prime. So as in a couple of previous episodes, we did do this wrong. The reason for doing it this way was to try and put the saves on the Storm Shield while it was still alive. But actually no wounds are allocated or models removed until after all of the unit's attacks have been resolved, and therefore all of the saves have been taken, so I would have been able to re-roll 1s on all of these save rolls. We recorded this before we realised this mistake, but we will fix it in future episodes. Finally the Night Questor gets to go. Because I'm in base contact with that Chain Rasp, I can't pile in to get within range of the Spirit Torment, so I'll just have to attack the Chain Rasps. And correction number 2. In Age of Sigmar, when piling in, you have to ensure that you remain at least as close to the closest model as when you started your pile-in move. So if you're in base contact with an enemy model, you can pile in around the base as long as you remain within base contact, because then you're still as close as you were before. So I could in fact have piled in round in this instance. 4 attacks hitting on 3s, 3 hits. Wounding on 3s, 6 is 2 damage. Ooh, okay, 3 wounds, 2 of which are 2 damage.
So the 2 damage ones save both, and the 1 damage one save that as well.
Huh.
Blimey.
Onto the battle shock phase. Secretors took 1 casualty again. Chain Rasps took 3.
Yeah, and I'm just going to spend a command point to stop the Chain Rasp running away.
Down to 1 command point for the Nighthaunt. And it's on to the Stormcast turn. Straight to the fight phase, we'll attack with the Secretors on the Chain Rasps first of all. The Great Mace hitting on 3s. That's a 6, so that's D3 hits. For 2. Wounding on 3s, 2 wounds.
5 plus. Fail both, so the Chain Rasps are destroyed.
Only 4 left, so they are gone. But now the Spirit Torment gets to fight.
He'll fight the Night Questor because the Secretors are already gone. And he's just going to stay where he is.
Yeah.
He's within 2 inches.
He has a 2-inch weapon range, so he doesn't have to move.
3 attacks, hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s. Reroll that 1. 2 hits. Wounding on 3s, 1 wound.
Ren -2, so I've got a 5+ save, but rerolling fails. Because of his shield. Oh, I got a 5 anyway. And then the Night Questor will pile in and attack the Spirit Torment. 4 attacks on 3s. 4 hits. Wounding on 3s. Only 1.
And a 4+ save, which I made.
So that's it for that. No battle shock. On to the Nighthaunt turn.
Going to put my attacks on the Secretors because I've got the scary Great Mace. 3 attacks hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s. Roll that 1. Into hits, 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. 1 wound.
6+ save, rerolling 1s. Nope, that's D3 damage.
1 again.
But that does take out the Secretor Prime, who's only had 1 wound left. Pick the Secretors piling the Great Mace, so he's within 3 inches. 2 attacks on 3s, 1 hit, wounds on a 3. That's a wound.
4+. Made it.
And the Night Questor's 4 attacks on 3s, 3 hits, wounding on 3s. Oh, they're all wounded.
4 pluses. Failed all of them, so it's down to 2.
Yeah. Then on to the Stormcast turn, I'll pick the Great Mace to fight first. 2 attacks on 3s, 1 hit. Wounds on a 3. It did not. Spirit Torment gets to go.
I'm just going to put my attacks on the Secretor because I think it's unlikely I'll kill the Night Questor. So 3 attacks hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s, 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. Still, can only get 1.
6 save. No.
D3 damage. 2. Hurrah.
So that is enough to take out the remaining Secretor. And then the Night Questor gets to attack. 4 attacks on 3s. The 3 hits. Wounding on 3s. 2 wounds, 1 of which is 2 damage.
2 damage. Made it.
Oh, yeah.
1 damage. Failed, so he's down to 1 wound. Well, the Spirit Torment gets to go. It's the Nighthaunt turn. So 3 attacks hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s. 1 hit. Wounds on 3. It does.
5+ save, rerolling. Nope. And actually, I can't reroll that because it's not a 1 or a 2, and the way rerolls and modifiers work, so he takes D3 damage.
Alright. 2 damage.
So he's down to 3, he gets to attack back. And we have actually been gaining command points in our hero phases all this time, but they're kind of irrelevant now. So 4 attacks on 3s. They all hit. Wounding on 3s. 3 wounds, 1 of which is 2 damage.
So 2 damage. Passed. Other 2. Oh, fell back. So Spirit Torment goes down.
Yep, there's Night Questor is the only one left standing. So we'll have a go at the alternative mission now, using the Guardian of Souls in place of the Spirit Torment. So we'll set up again, and over on the Nighthaunt side there is the Guardian of Souls set up instead. The Nighthaunt get to go first, so on to the Nighthaunt turn.
In the hero phase, I gain a command point, and then I'm going to try and cast Arcane Bolt. Needing a 5, getting a 6, which is a success, and it will hit the Night Questor because he's the closest model, I believe.
Yeah, and it doesn't have a range listed on the War Scroll at the moment, so it just says the closest enemy unit. So he goes down 4 wounds.
The Chain Rasps are going to run. Oh, don't even need to use a command point to get 6. So we're just going to cluster around the Guardian of Souls. We'll just let you come to us.
Because he has an unlimited range spell. So that's it for the Nighthaunt turn, on to the Stormcast. In my hero phase, I gain a command point, and everyone's going to run. So we'll roll the Secretors first. They rolled a 2. I will actually, so we will show off at the double. I will spend my command point to turn that into a 6. And we'll roll for the Night Questor as well. He gets a 3. So the Secretors will get to there, just behind the gate, and the Night Questor will follow them, and he's no longer the closest target for Arcane Bolt, so not going to carry on taking wounds. But that's it for Stormcast turn, on to the Nighthaunt turn.
Yeah, go up to 2 command points, and we're going to cast Arcane Bolt again, needing a 5, getting a 5.
So the Secretors will take a mortal wound. The one at the back will take a wound.
Well, actually, we are going to move. We're just going to shuffle our entire formation 6 inches towards the corner. Yeah, I don't get to do it very often, but I get to run into the corner once.
That's it for the Nighthaunt, on to the Stormcast again. Gain a command point, obviously. We're assuming the gate is open for this game. It doesn't say one way or the other in the scenario. So we're just going to run again to get closer. We'll do the Secretors first, a 3. Yeah, we'll spend our command point, turn that into a 6. And roll for the Night Questor. He rolls a 5, so you can keep up. So that brings us to there, but that's it for my turn. I ran, so I cannot charge. So on to the Nighthaunt again.
Gain a command point, we're up to 3. Going to cast Arcane Bolt again. Always the bare minimum, but that will kill the wounded Secator. So we're going to actually move out of our little corner hidey hole and get just over 3 inches away from the Stormcast. Then the Chain Rafts are going to charge. Our charge roll, here's a 4. Good enough to get in, but I want to try and get a bit more distance, so I'm going to spend a command point to reroll that. Into a 3. So the Chain Rafts will finish their pretty feeble charge, and then the Guardian of Souls will also try and charge. He gets a 2, so I'm actually going to reroll that. It's not the end of the world that he failed his charge. After our pile in, we're all still staying 3 inches away from the Night Questor. These 3 Chain Rafts aren't within an inch, the rest are, so...
And they are all still within 12 inches of the Guardian of Souls.
So we have 25 attacks hitting on 4s. So we got a whopping 8 hits out of that. But we're wounding on 3s because we got +1 from the Guardian of Souls. And we roll all 1s because there's more than 10 of us. We roll 1s, 7 wounds.
7 4+ saves, rerolling 1s. There's a couple of 1s. Oh, I only failed 1 out of all that. Yeah, we'll put the wound on the 1 over there. And the Secretors get to fight back. So 1 will pile in up there, and then we'll do the Great Mace first. 2 attacks hitting on 3s. 1 hit, wounds on a 3. No, it didn't. And 7 attacks from everybody else hitting on 3s. 6 hits, wounding on 3s. 4.
5 pluses. Made 1, fell 3, so the 3 unengaged will go down.
So there are 12 Chain Rafts left, and they have to take a Battle Shock test.
Yeah, and I'm just going to spend a command point to not have to do that.
So we'll be on to the Stormcast Eternals turn. Again, command point in the movement phase, the Night Questor will move there, and then he will charge. He rolls 9, which is loads. So he'll charge to there, just want to keep him away from the Guardian of Souls, so he's not the closest for Arcane Bolt. And then we'll attack with the Secretors first, because they're more likely to suffer casualties. So the Great Mace on 3s, 1 hit, wounds on 3. Nope. 7 normal maces on 3s, 4 hits, wounding on 3s, 2.
5 pluses. Fell both. So we'll take away those 2.
Within the Chain Rafts get to pile in and attack back.
So they have 21 attacks hitting on 4s. So we've got 9 hits, wounding on 3s, rerolling 1s because there's still 10 or more of us. 6 wounds.
6 4+ saves, rerolling 1s. 3 1s. So yeah, we're just going to fail 1 again. So the far one over there will die. And then the Night Questor gets to attack. He won't pile in because he's within an inch, which is his weapon range. 4 attacks hitting on 3s. They all hit. They wound on 3s. They all wound and 3 of them are 2 damage.
So the 2 damage ones, I passed 2, and the 1 damage one failed. So 3 more will die. We'll take away those 3.
But then they definitely have to take a Battle Shock test.
Spend a command point.
And on to the Nighthaunt turn.
So I gain a command point. Going to try and cast Arcane Bolt, needing a 5. No. He's just going to run and hide in the corner. And the remaining Chain Rafts are going to try and kill some Secretors. So we've got 15 attacks hitting on 4s. 10 hits wounding on 3s. That's 8 wounds.
I'm going to do these 4 at a time because only 2 members left have soul shields, so 4's rerolling 1s, so that's 3 failed. Well, that's 1 though. Right, so that's 2 so far, so do them in 2s, 1 wound, and then another wound, and then the final save is on the Great Mace man who doesn't have a shield, so I can't reroll 1s. And that's a 1. So the Great Mace is down to 1 wound and everyone else is dead. Just the Great Mace left. He will pile in. He's got 2 attacks hitting on 3s. Those hit, one of them's D3 with a 6, 2, so 3 hits. Wounding on 3s, and they all wound.
5 pluses. Failed all of them. 1 left, so the Dread Warden will live.
And the Night Questor will try and take him out. 4 attacks on 3s, only 1 hit. Wounds on a 3, oh I did.
5 plus. Yeah.
The Dread Warden lives. So on to the Battle Shock phase. The player whose turn it is takes Battle Shock first.
Go and spend a command point.
And I'm also going to spend my command point for Inspiring Presence. Keep the Great Mace alive. Don't want to risk rolling a 6 and having him run away, because I lost 2, so a 6 would be bad. And then we're on to the Stormcast turn. So straight to combat. Do the Night Questor, and I'm going to pile him in around like this, so that he is closer now, because that might keep the Great Mace alive when Arcane Bolt comes in. 4 attacks on 3s, 2 hits. Wounding on 3s, you know.
Okay, so the Dread Warden's still alive, and he's going to attack the Secretор. 3 attacks hitting on 4s, 2 hits. Wounded on 3s. 1 wound.
4 plus. Oh, I made it. And the Great Mace gets to attack back. 3s. Oh, double 2. The Chain Rasp lives.
So we're going to cast Arcane Bolt.
Yeah.
Come on. Big one. 3 again. The Guardian of Souls is going to run. 5. Yeah, he's just going to run over there. And he's still within 12 of the Chain Rasp. Dread one gets to fight. He's going to attack the Secretary. 3 attacks hitting on 4s. Or triple 1.
See if the Secretary can get revenge. 2 attacks on 3s. They both hit. Any wound on 3s? Oh, it's 2 to 1. Many damage.
Oh, I made one, but failed the other. Yeah. So he dies.
So we'll move around the fence like that, try and head him off both sides, and then we'll charge him. We'll do the Secretary first because he will be in command range if he fails. So it probably needs a 6 or a 7. We'll see what we roll. Oh, 11 is loads. So he moves up to there, and the Night Questor will charge us up. Rolling for him. He rolls a 7. I'll check and then see if I need to re-roll that. So he'll come in like that. We'll attack with the Secretary first because he could die. 2 attacks hitting on 3s. 1 hits. Wounds on a 3. Oh, it does. It's 6 for 2 damage.
4 plus. Made it. He'll attack the Secretary.
Okay, he's got 3 attacks, which are on 3s.
2 hits. And wound on 2s because he is a friendly Nighthaunt unit. 2 wounds.
Ren -1, so 2 5+ saves. Yeah, he finally dies. And then the Night Questor will try and avenge him. 4 attacks hitting on 3s. 3 hits. Wounding on 3s. 1 wound, but it is a 2 damage one.
4 plus. Nope, so down to 3 wounds.
But on to the Nighthaunt turn. Can't gain command point technically.
And try and cast Arcane Bolt. Oh, a 5, again the bare minimum. So mortal wound on the Night Questor, he's down to 3. Yeah, we're just going to stand and fight because even though I could flee over this wall, it's less than half an inch thick, so Night Questor can still fight me through the wall effectively. So we have 3 attacks hitting on 3s. Ooh, they all hit. Wounding on 2s. They all wound.
4 plus saves, re-rolling 1s and 2s. So of course I rolled 3 and a 1 and a 2, re-rolling. Alright, okay, so he only takes 1 wound.
He's down to 2.
And he can attack back, 4 attacks on 3s, 2 hits. Wounding on 3s, 2.
4 plus. Maybe one third one. Down to 2.
And straight to the Stormcast turn, I gain command point for what it's worth, and we'll just attack again, 4 attacks on 3s. They all hit. Wounding on 3s, 3 wounds.
4 pluses. Yep, failed 2.
There he goes, it dies at last. So another victory for the Stormcast. In fact, basically the same result at the other end of the board. So that's it for this issue's playthroughs. We'll recap those games for you now. So that was the games from issue 19 of Mortal Realms. How do you think those were?
Well, I think if my wizard knew how to cast spells, I might have won the second game.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I mean, I'd say even so, even though I think I rolled quite badly in both games, they're still fairly close, so I wouldn't have expected it to be a complete whitewash just because I have some new characters, because Secretors are still pretty beefy, and the Night Questor was no slouch either.
Particularly in the second game, I rolled quite well for my saves on the Secretors, so I think they probably made them look a bit tankier than they are.
If I'd actually had both the characters at once, it probably would have been a whitewash, because being able to re-roll hit rolls of 1 and wound rolls of 1 and wounding on 3s is pretty good. But I do like that they support my actual army.
They kind of have buffs, basically, or abilities that improve your other units.
While also being a wizard for the Guardian Souls.
And that seems to be the way the Nighthaunt army is set up, that you have quite a lot of support characters and auras and things and wizards and stuff that improves your stuff. I guess maybe Chain Rasps aren't the best unit to show it all off with, but you'd still improve their effectiveness, like either giving them +1 to wound or re-rolling wounds.
But +1 to wound is a really good thing. So a lot of my army would be wounded up 2s.
And I think if you'd got more hits, it would have really come into effect more. I guess it was kind of interesting. We had 15 Chain Rasps as well, using the Thorns of the Briar Queen as extra members of the unit. And it means that their effect for having more than 10 of them actually is relevant in this game for more than the first round of combat.
Yeah, we didn't get to see the Knight of Shrouds either, but
we'll get the Knight of Shrouds War Scroll in the next issue.
And obviously they all have more abilities that we haven't learned yet. The Guardian of Souls has a spell that allows him to bring you models back, and there is a battalion, I believe they're called, that you can take him in, and also a special lantern you can give him so you can bring back, I believe, 2d6 + 3 models. But I imagine as soon as he does that, his giant lantern's just going to be a massive shoot at me.
Yes, that's true actually. If I'd had ranged units, I probably would have shot, particularly him, but I would have also probably shot the Spirit Torment as well, because with a 4+ save and only 5 wounds, they're not super tough. You can get rid of them.
Yeah, and the Spirit Torment, but he's not super amazing in melee. Only has 3 attacks and hitting on 4s is the issue. And it also mentions Chain Gas in the little lore section. That's because Chain Gas, I believe, actually extend his aura essentially, so it affects them as well, as long as they're within 12 inches of him. Yeah, right. So he actually has quite a big aura range, because having to be wholly within within 12 inches also makes manoeuvring important and positioning of heroes. Well, I do like that you actually need heroes around to be able to use your command abilities.
Yeah, and I like the fact that it actually represents them, or basically probably shouting stuff and directing the troops under their control rather than just being a sort of nebulous...
voice on the radio or hive mind.
Yeah, and also it fits the setting as well, where unless you have a magic radio, orders can only be given by shouting at people, so you need to be close by.
And I like how you can roll a run roll and then turn it into a 6 as opposed to just re-rolling it.
It also makes it kind of worth using as well, because it's like, at least I can get a guaranteed 6. You know what you're getting for your command point rather than just...
And only being one command point to not have to take a battle shock test as well. Because, once you've run and charged and you're actually in melee, you just spend your command points to not have to take battle shock tests. With these armies, anyway.
Yeah, you only had one unit that had to take them. And so you just used the command ability every time they did, because why would you want to voluntarily lose models? To that extent, I suppose, getting a command point every turn was... Towards the end, it sort of became a bit pointless, but there'll be more command abilities we'll learn.
Yeah, and I believe certain characters have command abilities that are unique to them. Actually, I will say I quite like all three of these models. I actually managed to break the Guardian of Souls, his staff, and his sword arm as well. So they have that characteristic Nighthaunt flimsiness. But particularly the Knight of Shrouds is a really cool looking model. As far as I can tell, the only way to get these three specific models is from the Soul Wars box, so getting them with the magazine is actually a really good way of getting them. You can get Prolock the Jailer, which is actually coming later with the magazine as well, who is a Spirit Torment, but I think he's £25 for him and 2 Chaingast, so getting one for £8 is quite good. But all three of them, I think, are all pretty handy for a Nighthaunt army.
But I think that's everything for this episode, so if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for more. Leave any comments you might have if you've been playing through these missions. Let us know how you did. If you've got any thoughts on the best way to use these sort of heroes, that would be interesting to know as well, because we're still learning how to use these armies ourselves. We've been the Tabletop Donkeys, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye for now.